Good Lord, good Lord. Well, hey, I'm not going to keep hold of the reins here. Tonight, I am so excited, you all, to have our very own Carmen Smith speaking and sharing tonight from her heart.
Yep.
Before you do that,
Yeah,
before you go into detail, so I'm going
sure.
to give everything over to you. Just let them know a little bit of your background so they know that you're
Yeah.
just, I mean, they're going to see that you're just not some woman with some random knowledge. Of course, once you start speaking, but I want you to have that credibility right out the gate because you deserve that. And
Thank
there's a
you.
reason why I want you guys to listen to Carmen. Not only is she a woman that is very wise, but she's accredited. And so I think that we need to mention that up front. I'm so excited, first of all, to have you ladies here. Now, it is all up to Carmen, and Carmen, do your thing, girl.
All right. So, Allie, just to put in your pocket while I'm talking, are we good with screen share? You have it for me?
I
Okay.
believe so. I
You got
I
it.
flipped it on my
No
computer and I'm
problem.
hoping.
No problem. We'll work through it either way.
Okay.
So, hi, ladies. Carmen Smith here. I started with Allie back August 7th, I believe, is my date. And my husband and I, we are both with Wade and Allie, and we just made a commitment that we were going to get back to healthy. We had been previous CrossFitters, very, very fit, but with youth, age, all of that, it's really hard on your body to be able to do that consistently. And with COVID, it was so fun to be able to celebrate and just, have champagne if we wanted to, or, whatever it was, and kind of go through eating binges and all kinds of terrible things that we knew were all not for us. And so we ended up just kind of regrouping, more so after I lost my job. So I lost my job of 27 years. And that was a pretty devastating time. I started when I was 21 years old. So it was all I knew in my life. And when I was a child, I used to tell my family I was going to be a psychologist. I'm going to be a psychologist. Well, it didn't turn out that way. I worked for an insurance company, a very large one. And they recently had some restructures and laid off quite a few of our employees. And so I was part of that. Restructure and reorganization. So devastated, kind of went down the tubes and wondering what in the world am I going to do? I'll never make this amount of money again. I'll never, who am I? What am I supposed to do? And so during my time working, I also took classes for a master's program. I'm a first generation college graduate, but I went into getting working on my master's. Well, at a certain point, you have to stop because then you work on an unpaid internship. Well, I wasn't about to do that. I was making six figures. I was the boss of bosses of bosses. And I said, oh my gosh, okay, well, I'm going to have to put that goal on hold until I retire from the company that I worked at. And so, lo and behold, you go in that moment and you're like, what am I supposed to do? And it just came to me that I'm supposed to get back into mental health counseling. So I do that. I am doing my internship. I get paid $0 until July. So I give all my life and all my time to clients who need me. And I'm always playing a mental game. I'm always helping them with their mental. And that's part of what I wanted to share with, because I'm in the groups with everybody. And y'all, there are days where my mental is just, not where it needs to be on point, and I have to talk myself out of it, bring myself up. Sometimes I have to knock on my husband's, door in the office and say, babe, I need you. I'm just not feeling it today. And then there's times the other way too, where he's that way. And I have to bring him up and say, yep, we're getting up at 4 a.m. and we're going to do this workout, whether we love it or not, today we're going to do it. That was kind of like, warm, snuggly in the bed day today, where we didn't really want to, but we did. But all that to say, mental is so important. And Allie, I'm going to roll right into what I wanted to share with everybody, because I think if we take a look, one, within ourselves, and then a look around us to find out, okay, are we good in our mental, but maybe people we're surrounding ourselves with, friends, family. I don't know too much of what you can do about family, but who is helping us achieve our goals or who's holding us back. So let me share my screen. At lunchtime today, um, I was sitting thinking, okay, what can I do to, let me just share, and then I'm going to get you my PowerPoint pulled up real quick. What can I do? And y'all tell me, because I can't see you. You just disappeared on me. So just yell at me. Yes, Carmen, we can see you.
We can see
Perfect.
your screen share and you.
Okay, good. Oh, awesome. That's even better. So I put together a few slides, y'all, just to kind of bring us to center, right? And so I asked Allie, I said, Allie, can I just really share something with the ladies? Because I think it's so important, one for myself, but more so if it resonates with you in some sort of way. I hope that it helps you in just kind of reframing and reigniting your passion of yourself and just mastering that mindset, because it is so critical to our health and wellness. The first thing I wanted to do was on this slide was just kind of talk about being kind to yourself first. So, working through negative self-talk and self-sabotage, can't see a raise of hands, but I'm going to raise my own to say, yes, y'all, I have talked myself. Allie has admitted she's talked herself out of things or said, oh my gosh, I'm not going to be good enough. I'm not this. I can't do this. We do that, right? And if you've ever flown on a plane, you'll know that, you know, when you listen to the announcements, if you really actually are paying attention like we should be, they always say put your oxygen mask on first before you help the person beside you. Why do you think that is? Why do you think you put it on yourself first?
Because if you pass out, you can't help put it on anyone else.
That's right. You can't help the little ones beside you. You can't help the elderly woman beside you or whoever it is, right? You can't do anything without helping yourself first. And that's kind of where I wanted to bring this together is it's first about helping ourselves, and self-sabotage is, man, it can really eat you alive. And what I wanted just to share these two images just to say you can't shame yourself into change. You can't say, oh my gosh, I know that I have to do this, but I'm fat and I'm overweight and I am these things. And one thing that I have learned to do is to stop saying I am something, especially if it's a negative something, because then I start speaking that into existence and become that. So one time I told somebody, I am so fat. I think it was like my best friend. And she was like, you are not fat. You have fat, just like you have fingernails, but you are not fat. And I was like, you are so brilliant. Like, I just love you. This is why you're my best friend, right? So I tell you that little story because I want you to separate yourself from the negative things. And if you can say to yourself, I am I am not fat. I have fat, but I'm changing my ways and changing my world. That's the kind of thing that I think is so important for us, is to really figure out how to talk to ourselves in the mirror. We talk to ourselves sometimes worse than we would talk to a stranger on the street. How scary is that, right? So I really, really want you guys to focus on, all of us to focus on how we can really just lift ourselves up and stop the negative talk and self-sabotage, because you can only love yourself into evolution. You can't do it any other way. So fast forwarding, a lot of you probably have, I've read 1,000 books in business about growth mindset, fixed mindset. In the workplace, we have folks that have growth and fixed mindsets, and it really, really can damage a team. And if, any of these things resonate in any type of way, and I'm not going to say that you should never, ever feel these things. There are times you will feel this, and it's okay. The catch is, how quickly can you get yourself out of that and recover from it? And so we know growth mindset embraces challenges, accepts criticism and negative feedback as constructive in a way to help, equates rewards with effort, persists in the face of setbacks. My gosh, y'all, losing your job and being the primary breadwinner of your family, and now saying to myself, I don't make shit. Y'all, I don't make anything until July. But here I am with a damn smile on my face doing something I absolutely love, in the hopes that well, it's not a hope, I will be as successful as I was in business. But dang, I'd be doing what I love and what I was supposed to do and meant to do in my life. And so that's the kind of mindset that I had to flip around on myself. I spent 3 days in bed crying my eyes out. And then I got myself out. and I brushed my teeth day 1. And then day 2, I got out of my pajamas, and then day 3, I'm like, all right, I'm going to go outside and I'm actually going to drive somewhere and go somewhere. And I finally got myself out of it. So I could have stayed in the bed forever, but I chose not to. And that's where I think through adversity in my life, you decide what path you're going to take, right? I want to talk to you about this other thing that I often see people in the world doing, and it's kind of this victim mentality versus victor mentality. And what do I mean by that? So, we kind of talk about where we all start and having the same starting points in life. And so I wanted to share that, victims have been abused, unloved, suffered illness, injured, mistaken, heartbroken, manipulated, cheated, suffered loss, rejected, mistreated, incarcerated, disapproved of, and even disappointed. But you know what? Y'all, some of y'all are victors too. Some of us are victors, and we have been abused and unloved and suffered illness and injured and mistaken and heartbroken and manipulated, cheated, suffered loss, all of the same things. We start at the same point, but then we have the different responses, which really starts to separate us from the victims and whether you're going to be a victor. And so victims begin to feel helpless, afraid, alone, trapped, hopeless, anxious, frustrated, resentful, vulnerable, angry, depressed, unacceptable, and feeling like a failure. Or when I was in my place there, not good enough. And that's when you make choices and decide, and you have to make a conscious effort to say, I am not staying up in this business anymore. I am moving on and I am going to be a victor. And that's where you ask for help. You get counseling. Y'all, I'm a student intern and I have my own therapist. So, people who think, oh, but you're a therapist, you can do all the things. Oh, heck no. We have our own stuff too. I'm working on some inner child work for myself, just healing what I'm going to call Carmen, who I put in my reason why way back when Allie asked us, right? So I'm working on inner little Carmen, and it's scary to go talk to little Carmen, but I'm letting her know that everything's going to be okay going forward. But victors also seek healthy relationships. They're teachable. They plan ahead. They're hopeful. They can navigate obstacles, talk it out, take healthy risks, persevere under trial. They desire healing and admit their mistakes. And really, really what's important is forgiveness. And whether you forgive, I think Allie even mentioned this in one of hers that touched my heart, is forgiveness is huge. You may not forget. You may not want to ever like somebody in your past that's hurt you or caused you harm, but forgiving them frees your soul and frees yourself to be able to heal. So I hope some of that resonates with you. We become different people when we are a victim versus a victor. And so when you're a victim, you are very self-protective, you're insecure, all of these things, y'all, I was defensive, guarded, low self-esteem, discontent, dependent, powerless, closed-minded, controlling, could be manipulative depending on the situation, self-destructive, harmful to others or hurtful to others. And victim can be part of your identity. And if you really want to break the chains of your mental health, your strength, your stamina, to help you unleash your best version of yourself, you've got to be able to set those healthy boundaries. You've got to be secure. You've got to say, I have fat, but damn, I look good. Damn, look at these muscles coming out, right? You've got to be able to just say, speak it into existence, and you become those things. You're open to new ideas. When Allie says, trust me, you're trusting of her. You're willing to learn new things. You're willing to learn macros. I never even knew macros existed. I just knew I needed to eat protein. I needed to kind of be low carb, and never even knew that fat was good for you. So you do all these versions of things, and I'm willing to learn, and I trust Allie to take me in the right direction. I feel fulfilled, very independent, very powerful because I own my own self and no one else does. I don't give that power away. So kind of just talking about which side do you want to move from? Maybe you're in victim mode now and you say, Carmen, I need help. I need to get over into this Victor. I want to live in that world of, I'm going to call it sunshine and rainbows, but it's not always. It's tough. But what I would say, it's much more optimistic than the pessimistic side. I wanted to ask, where are we? And this was just a slide that resonated with me. And if anyone says anything, let me know. I just can't see you guys to even see a hand raise or anything. Um, but one thing I wanted to share was going beyond the ordinary. And I found this image out there and I thought, wow, this really resonates. A lot of us, well, 99% of the population live in the comfort zone. They live in doubt. They live an ordinary life, kind of like being like everyone else, guilt, fighting for survival, settling for less, fearful, insecure, maybe have shame, regret, and kind of just playing it safe and doing small things. Um, but then there's that 1% of the population that embraces the unknown, who feels fulfilled. They're consciously choosing peace and joy, authentically confident. They're making their dreams come true, not settling for anything less. I think Allie, that's her motto. She says, don't settle for anything less. Proactive despite fears and doubts, abundance in all shapes and forms, no limits, loving change, excited and truly alive, squeezing the most out of life. And so what I would say is, wherever you are, even if you only are on the outside of this image, maybe one of the things you can only check off one of the things right now. Maybe you can't check off any and you sit more in the comfort zone. I challenge you each to step out of it and find those things, and it's a flush of your entire core belief. It's your nervous system. It's what your nervous system is telling you, and it's saying, ooh, yikes, that's scary, don't go there, don't do that, don't do this change. But I say, remember that negative self-talk, remember that self-sabotage, and see if that's who's talking to you, versus really stepping out and going out there and taking a chance on yourself and investing in yourself. I wanted to share this because sometimes I see us making comments about, oh man, I had a terrible weekend. Oh, so bad. But I did log my food, or I did do something. And so every day looks different for every single person. Comparison, what is that? Comparison is the thief of joy. We've heard that statement many a times. And it really is true. If you compare yourself to other people who are in this program or even on social media or on the streets, you are stealing your own joy. And if you can look in the mirror and say, man, I look better than I did last week. I feel better than I did last week. I can breathe better. I stand up more, alert and firm, and my handshake is more confident. Oh my gosh, I'm really stepping out there. Doing your best looks different every single day for every single person, regardless of the day. And ultimately, it's about consistency. And that's what Wade and Allie always tell us. It's about consistency. So it can look like this all the time for a little while. And then you're going to see the shifts and changes, and things are just going to go up higher and higher. But at the end of the day, it's going to look like this in a week. It always will. And that's okay. But don't beat yourself up. And I'm going to make this challenge to everybody. If I see me, Carmen Smith, as your friend, if I see negative self-talk or self-sabotage in our chats, I'm going to respectfully call it out and say, I love you. And so when you hear Carmen say, I love you, I want that to be an all good heart, because I love you. And I wouldn't be where I am today if I didn't have a heart for people and a passion for people. So what I would say is, I love you, but what can you say to yourself to reframe what you just said to something different? And I hope you take me up on it. And if you don't, that's okay too. But just know I love you at the end of the day, okay? And I'm only looking out for you and me. So last thing I really wanted to kind of go through were 13 things that mentally strong people do not do. They do not waste time feeling sorry for themselves. You can for a minute. You can. It's natural. But dang, don't take it on every day. It will steal your joy. They don't give their power away either. So, oh, so and so is upset with me. Oh, I didn't do it because X or Y. Actually, you're in control of yourself. You are only in control of yourself. And so, yes, things can influence what we do. But at the end of the day, you make the choice. And if you choose to sleep in and not work out, that's a choice you made. Be accountable for it. That's okay. You choose. Just do it tomorrow. Be better tomorrow. And think about, what can I do to get that obstacle out of my way, because I seem to keep saying that same thing over and over. Don't shy away from change. Even if Allie's saying, I'm increasing your carbs, I'm increasing your protein, lowering this or doing that, don't shy away from change. Accept it, embrace it, and just hit it head on. Um, Mentally strong people don't waste their energy on those things that they can't control. I just don't. I can't control the politics. I can't control road ragers. I can't control anything except what goes in my mouth, what goes into my mind, what goes onto my body, and who I surround myself with. Those are the only things I can control. And I'm hugging myself because I need a hug right now. But those things that you can't control, don't focus on them, guys. It'll just eat you alive. Don't worry about pleasing everyone. The people pleaser, y'all. I was a people pleaser. Oh my gosh. And what I learned is, you can't please everybody. Y'all, I was trying to feed a department of a whole building actually of 2,000 people where we're making free hot dogs and burgers, right? Grilling them out for our associates, everything else. And all I got was complaints. Well, I need vegan, I need veggie, I need this, I need that. But you know what? I can't do it all. I can't. So we decided, you know what? That's okay. It's okay if we don't please everybody, because we're not going to. Don't fear calculated risks. Remember, healthy calculated risks, not the risky stuff that's going to endanger your life. We want calculated risks. Don't dwell on the past. I think I put it actually in our session earlier, when we may look in the rearview mirror. I'm guilty of it too. We look in the rearview mirror of what could have been, or back in my day when I was CrossFitting and man, I was in the best shape of my life. Woo, I wish I could fit in that dress again that I still have hanging in my closet. We dwell on the past and we don't look for the new, who we are today. And man, I love who I am today, y'all. Yeah, I lost my job, but I love who I am today. I love where I'm going. I love what's happening. And I love that I'm learning something completely new, and I'm made to do this. So I don't dwell on the past. I don't dwell on what happened to me. I focus on the future, and look through the windshield. We don't make the same mistakes over and over. When you do, you're not learning, and you don't have that mental stamina, that mental strength. We don't resent other people's success. We just don't. We celebrate them and we go, man, that is awesome. She rocks. Look at those biceps. Y'all, some of y'all showing your biceps. I'm like, look, I'm wearing long sleeves and I got a little bicep too. Look in there. We got a little bicep, but I'm hiding them, because I'm like, oh, I'm not as good as A, B, or C, but I am so happy and so proud of some of y'all doing your hard work. Don't give up after the first failure. We are going to fail. We're going to fall down. We're going to get right back up, dust off, and just come at it again. And don't fear being alone. Sometimes you got to be in the gym alone. Sometimes you have to be home alone, and not Home Alone, the movie, Christmas time, but home alone in your gym. And it's okay. You don't always have to have someone to support you. It's good to be supported, but you got to know that you can do things alone also. You're strong enough. They don't feel the world owes them anything. Nobody owes us anything, y'all. This is hard work, earned and deserved, and you deserve it. And then lastly, and I know we're wrapping up on some time, but they don't expect immediate results. Mentally strong people know that it's a lifestyle change and a process. It's something that, if Wade and Allie wanted to prescribe us pills and, give us shots and things like that, man, we would be losing weight probably really fast and going through all the things. But at the end of the day, just like I watched on television this morning, a doctor spoke and she said, the minute you get off of X medication, you will gain 2/3 of your weight back because you didn't fix up here. You didn't fix that you can't listen to your nervous system and your trauma response or whatever it is that's causing you to continue to eat and overeat. You're not listening to that. And medicine only masks it. It doesn't help you. So all that to say, I want to know, are you mentally strong enough to do this? Allie is resetting. She is holding us accountable starting now. And so I say, I love you guys. And I hope that that was helpful in kind of just sharing with you what I feel passionate about and what I really, I care and love all of you guys, just as if you're my best friends.
Thank you so much, Carmen. I really appreciate you sharing. It was
You're
really,
welcome.
really much needed information. And from that, I want you guys to hear this. So many of us feel powerless. We feel like life has dealt us some cards, and that's the way it is. That's just how it is. Life does deal you some cards, but you get to pick what you do with them. See, it may not look like a winning hand to you, but if you're the one who sets the rules, you get to decide what wins. And for your life, you get to decide what your wins are. No one else can stop you from succeeding but you. And it's funny how our minds are where, that's why when Carmen talked about this stuff tonight, it's so important because you're winning at losing the weight and getting in shape and getting fit and building muscle starts right here. It's all a mind game. And if you can win it here and believe and trust the process and know it's going to take longer than you want, because it always does. If we got it in a week with a pill, it would still be too long. It'd be a long week. You see what I'm saying? We have these unrealistic expectations that defeat us. We go into, I got a wedding and I've had clients come on, I've got a wedding in 6 weeks, Allie, I got to lose 30 pounds. And I'm like, well, you're on the wrong program. Because I'm not going to help you lose muscle and destroy your body. I'm not going to do it. And you know what? We have to look in the mirror and say, I'm going to trust the process. This is going to change my life for the better. It's not just changing my weight. This is transforming my health. It's changing my life. It's building disciplines in me that also will help me win, not just at this, but at life. And if we can win at this, and we can, it starts right here. And like I said, you are not powerless. You are not a victim unless you choose to stay there. So we can't control what other people have done to us and what has happened in life. We cannot control that, but we can control and define what that means to us. For me, I talk about rape. I was raped for almost 30 something years, 25 to 30 years. I let that rape slow me and hurt me in so many areas of my life, even my relationship with my children, intimacy with my children, touching my arm as a small infant. It affected me in so many ways in my life. And I had to decide to take power over that. I was raped one time, but yet it happened to me in my mind over and over and over and over. And it just wasn't the memory of it, but how it changed me. And one day I decided that I would take power over that. And real quick, what that was I decided the things that made me fearful, I would take those things and I would embrace those things. Here's one. when Aerosmith, I was raped during an Aerosmith song. When Aerosmith would come on my radio, I could not get to the dial back then, the dial fast enough to turn it, because it made me sick and fearful. I didn't want to hear that band. But whenever I decided that I would change my life, I started listening to Aerosmith, because I wasn't going to let that have fear on my life anymore. When I started listening to Dream On by Aerosmith over and over and knew the words, and it empowered me and strengthened me. And something that was making me fearful and bringing memories of fear now were turned to empowerment. See, you get to define what that looks like in your life. Only you get to define that. You will remain a victim if you choose to stay there. But I challenge you today, and Carmen is challenging you today, to step up and decide to be a victor, not a victim. And you can decide that. It is breaking mindsets. It is taking negative thoughts and flipping them, just like I did the song, just like Carmen talked about, flipping it. You got to flip your mindset and say, that is not the truth. That is not the truth. That may have happened to me, but that is not the truth. I hug and kiss my husband more than I kiss him and hug him all day long. I have never been a touchy-feely person. I didn't want my own kids even touching my arms, hugging me. And now I'm a touchy-feely, hug my kids, kiss them on the face kind of mom, because I started breaking things that were destroying my heart and leaving me with regret. So as we take this journey, we're learning a lot about each other. Like Carmen said, we're seeing posts and we're seeing who's kind of stuck. You're just kind of stuck, but it's all right here. And sometimes it's like a record that, you know, those old records with the scratch on, they'd skip. You hear it again and again and again and again. The same thing playing over and over and over. Life keeps moving forward, but that record just keeps skipping. Have you ever felt like you've just got stuck? It's time to unstick it. It's time to pick up the needle and move it over and let it play the rest of the song. A beautiful song that you have power over. You have power over your life. You have power over your body. You have a lot more power over your health than we even imagine that we have. It is in our control for the most part. Are there things we can't control? Yes, I can't control that I'm getting older. I can't control if I get cancer one day, but maybe I can if I change some things now, right? I don't know how I'm changing my future by what I'm changing in my life right now. I don't know what I'm avoiding in my future. I'm going to do the best I can with what I've been given, and to place value in what I have that is good. I have a body. Is it exactly what I want it to be? No. Have I come a long way? Yes, because I started to finally value it. Valuing my life, valuing who I am as a person. That's what you need to do. That's what I need to do. That's what Carmen was talking about. We talk worse to ourselves than we do a stranger on the street, than we do someone we hate. We talk to ourselves worse than that most of the times, than someone we completely dislike. We wouldn't speak to them the way we speak to ourselves in our minds and when we look in the mirror. And it's time to stop and flip that inner conversation right up here, because that will not only change your life here, it will change your life forever in every area of your life. From financial to being a parent, to being a grandparent, to all the things, the relationships, all the things. Start taking those negative things and those negative people out of your life. Surround yourself with people that you want to be like, people who are where you want to be. That's who you surround yourself with, because it'll help change your mindset. And that's what we want Bod Babes to be about, that you can grow and that you can become all that you see in your mind to become, because you do have the power to change your life. I love you, ladies. Gotta go at 7:06. Have a great evening. Thanks again, Carmen, you guys.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Bye, y'all.
Bye, ladies.